and I understand that it's the other realm warring. I believe that that's a very real thing, and I've taken steps.
Furthermore, I comprehend that it's the other domain fighting. I accept that that is something undeniable, and I've made strides any place I can to similar to put on some reinforcement I get up each day. And I understand I'm not in charge of this entire thing, and regardless of what happens, I simply request the elegance to have the option to manage it. Yes, Ashton Kutcher, gracious, discourteous, inconsiderate, discourteous young man, he started to attempt to get more actual and alternate ways this finish. He'd in her taking off from him, and in a way that would sound natural to her, him pursuing her around a room. Gibson has gained notoriety for being blunt about some disrupting bits of insight inside Hollywood. And this time, it seems he put his focus on the darling Ashton Kutcher, who as of late wound up at the focal point of a debate, his main trepidation, public embarrassment. Okay? I don't give in any longer. It's clear that he has never been reluctant to express his real thoughts, and that incorporates no dreading Kutcher either. To that end, the web is by all accounts abuzz with hypotheses that Gibson seems, by all accounts, to be ready to divulge a few awkward secret bits of insight about Ashton too, recommending that he may be an overseer. We know about the agony that has been brought about by the person letters that we composed for Danny Masterson. There is another side to the news, so we should get everything rolling on what Gibson seems to say regarding Ashton. When you're 20, you don't grasp these things, so you realize I assume I just would have been more persistent, to all the more likely comprehend how Mel Gibson should feel about the thing Kutcher is purportedly doing. It's great to feature a portion of the tasks that Mel has embraced as he apparently attempts to handle maltreatment in Hollywood, and past Mel Gibson was accounted for to have been engaged with the exceptionally dubious film venture Sound of Opportunity. Reports propose that the movie has accomplished DAA critical achievement by unparalleled the $150 million imprint in the cinema world, and its striking achievement proceeds unabated in spite of confronting resistance from sections of evidently woke Hollywood and liberal news media. The film has recovered its creation cost as well as created a momentous 10 times return, cementing its status as perhaps of the most surprising victory in film industry history. In the event that I put down precisely exact thing happened, it's excessively difficult to take no. There have been a ton of deterrents tossed in the manner you realize. There's a ton of what might you call it. He encouraged individuals to watch this film to manage an NKID to help his vision seen. Wolfington shared a video of Mel Gibson on Instagram. In it, Gibson expressed quite possibly of the most incredibly upsetting issue in our present reality is, and especially the reality of kids. Our future is our youngsters. Gibson then urged watchers to venture out in killing. He expressed the most vital phase in destroying this wrongdoing is mindfulness. Go see Sound of Opportunity. Knowing these realities about Mel Gibson, it is easy to perceive how he would despise anybody attempting to nestle victimizers and control casualties, the two of which are things that Ashton Kutcher has been blamed for past the film. There are reports proposing that Gibson is equipping to deliver an earth-shattering 4-section narrative series that will probably disclose the secret universe of World War D. Horrifying violations. As per Newsweek, this stunning disclosure is supposed to uncover the business' amazing yearly income of $34 billion, a sum that is difficult to accept as it outperforms the yearly profit of the carrier business, and I comprehend that it's the other domain fighting. I accept that that is something undeniable, and I've made strides any place I can to similar to put on some protection. Here's Tim Ballantyne from Activity Underground, who is apparently the fundamental person in Gibson's film. He's a main figure in the worldwide battle against, and talked about Gibson's inclusion in the undertaking for Ukraine. Got a call from Mel Gibson. He really did the last altar of the Sound of Opportunity. That is the way we realize each other. Yet not great, not all around oak that I get calls. He let me know that he was in Budapest. This film is obviously the genuine story of Tim. The story behind this disputable film uncovers that Tim Ballard, who had recently presented with the CIA and later joined the recently shaped division of country security, endured quite a long while focusing on customers of material anyway. In spite of his endeavors, he couldn't save the kids. As per Heavenly Messenger Studios, which holds the permitting freedoms to this film, the reason for the movie is to place a focus on the worldwide development to end by effectively disseminating this movie to an overall crowd anyway. A few fans accept that it was Tim himself who called Mel and mentioned him to make a film on what's quite us and individuals. I will not ask you for direct gift yet. Could you at any point assist me with recording this? You realize this movie was occurring so we can get individuals to comprehend, and they can uphold us. He said no issue. He assisted us with kicking setup and off shooting. So what was the reason for making this film? What did he think it is seen that Hollywood has been supposedly endeavoring to drop this film, which is genuinely shocking, and supposedly Gibson imagined? That behind this Ashton is the overseer. Ashton Kutcher calls him kind, respectful, and diligent. He has consistently treated individuals with fairness, uniformity, and liberality. The letters didn't influence the adjudicator. Well, Gibson's idea may be very right in light of the fact that as of late Ashton has been seen doing some odd stuff. Well, the letter not just missed the mark in that frame of mind to impact the appointed authorities, yet, in addition, neglected to reverberate with the overall population. On this advancement has prompted new hypotheses recommending that Ashton might be hiding his actual way of life as a guardian for Hollywood elites during a meeting. This is what Sharon Osbourne said. Okay, Ashton Kutcher. Gracious, impolite, discourteous, impolicio, and violent young man. This assertion adjusts intimately with the public's view of Ashton, as he has discontinuously shown help for a portion of the profoundly denounced VIPs in Hollywood, an activity that many say assigns him as a controller. I accept that it is my work to safeguard their entitlement to seek after satisfaction and to guarantee a general public and government to comprehend his inclusion. We should review Harvey Weinstein's case. His case represents this point, as his activities stayed undisclosed for quite a long time. It was just when reality at long last became visible that individuals started to fathom the huge pretended by power elements and institutional treacheries in propagating such conduct. Institutional treachery some of the time can be institutional. Selling out extensively is the point at which an organization doesn't do a good job for the people who are subject to it. Notwithstanding the claims against him, Harvey Weinstein kept on driving his creation organizations, creating blockbuster films and getting an endless series of Oscars to numerous. Harvey was viewed as a divinity inside the business anyway. There were likewise youthful, hopeful specialists whom Harvey deluded and successfully hushed this tremendous power and pout led him to proceed with his ruthless way of behaving for a really long time. He started to attempt to get more actual and alternate ways. This finished in her taking off from him, and as would be natural for her, him pursuing her around a room. To be sure, is currently conscious of Harvey's bad behavior. When Ashton straightforwardly upheld Danny Masterson, it drew huge consideration and brought up issues among the general population and media. The same more than 5 years after Danny Masterson's charges surfaced, his previous That 70s Show co-star Ashton Kutcher ends his quiet. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis were among more than 50 people who wrote letters to the appointed authority in the Danny Masterson grown-up preliminary communicating support for the entertainer preceding his condemning. As per court records, who sent in a letter shielding the personality of indicted sequential and Scientologist on favorable terms. Danny Masterson could butcher and Kunis, who are hitched and have 2 little youth inksters together, pastly worked close by Masterson on the Fox sitcom That 70s Show, which broadcasted for 8 seasons and comprised of 200 episodes from 1998 to 2006. Furthermore, Kutcher and Masterson worked together on Netflix's The Farm anyway. Masterson was worked out of the show during its 3rd season in the wake of confronting claims in 2017. Likewise, this evening, an appointed authority in Los Angeles condemned entertainer Danny Masterson to 30 years to life in jail before his condemning Masterson's casualties conveyed effective proclamations to the court depicting the 47-year-old as a hunter following the condemning one-up. Masterson's attorneys kept up with his honesty and expressed that the fight in court was a long way from being done. The redrafting legal counselors are certain that these convictions will be upset, he said. So Mila and Ashton showed their help for the sentenced attacker before he got a jail sentence of 30 years to life for something 2 ladies at his Hollywood Slopes home 20 years prior, and I addressed